responders. The aim of the GnRH analog trigger is to limit the amount of LH over a period of time, which is LH activity over a period of time, thereby reducing ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. And this has been significantly well achieved and has changed the way we practice IVF. Now, the additional advantage is that you can measure the LH rise 8 to 12 hours after the GnRH analog trigger. So in my practice, I usually do a 10-hour LH test, which will tell us if the LH activity has increased or not. Now, the cutoff for LH is supposed to be around 15 international units per ml. And anything lower than that probably gives us an idea that LH activity is not adequate enough. So if you look at research, and research indicates that the chances of getting less eggs may be in about 30 to 40% of cases when the LH drops below 15. So let's look at this study where I gave an analog trigger, and a few hours, 8 to 10 hours later, we saw a blood test which indicated that the FSH level was 29, the estrogen was high, the LH was 12, which raised concern of whether you would find eggs. And if you look at the progesterone, it was 59. So what made me realize that here the trigger is likely to have worked? One, there's been a pituitary flare of FSH. This has been suboptimal. The estrogen is high, but the key indicator of granular cells being luteinized is the rise of progesterone. Again, which I believe a key indicator of telling you that it is likely that a trigger has worked. Now, if the LH drops below 15, there is evidence that 30% of times you may get less eggs or no oocytes. But by combining these tests, you look at the FSH rise, which is also crucial in the trigger. You see an estrogen that is high. You see an LH which is suboptimal in rise, but you see a progesterone that is rising. So what did we find? We had 22 follicles. We got 20 oocytes, and 17 were mature. Now, in my belief, that maturity is linked to age and is linked to the high level of progesterone. So that is what we saw today, and which is a bit of a surprise and a pleasant surprise. But when you put science together, you start understanding that it seems to all fall in place, putting all your hormones together, looking at the parameters of successful trigger implementation. Thank you.